Are you familiar with the story about the ring of Gyges?
No, I am not familiar with that story.
I'll just fill you in briefly. So the ring of Gyges was this story where basically somebody put on the ring of Gyges and it made them invisible. And so they had this power to be invisible, but basically everybody who put the ring on that made themselves invisible basically ended up committing crime. They couldn't help themselves because they just knew they could get away with it. So therefore they just simply did it. So if you give somebody the ability to do something or the power to commit a crime, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's the whole point. So what Craig is doing is he's forcing people to play fair. He was just like, if you want to, sell naughty images of children, if you want to sell drugs, fill your boots, but you are going to get caught, so therefore don't do it. And we are going to make a system where everybody is accountable to someone, which means that no single person has got any control over it. And all these other people are going, no, we don't like that. We want to make the system anonymous. We're going to do what we want. If you make a system anonymous, whoever it is that added that anonymity has complete control over the system because they're not accountable. The whole point of money is that it's being neutral, that nobody has control over it. So this was the issue with SegWit. They've segregated the signatures, which means that they can no longer validate one another. So what do you want? Do you want a system that's fair, that's trying to be explained by an absolute genius who's got social problems because he's got Asperger's, or do you want a system sold to you by some smooth operator who is like a snake oil salesman who said, don't listen to him, he doesn't really know what he's talking about, he's an arsehole. You really want this system, where in actual fact they've got complete control over it and they're just mugging you off.
Again, I think I don't want to go into a discussion about people I've never met. Technically, I'm not the best, and I don't know all the differences between all the Bitcoins. My goal is to get main adoption of peer-to-peer cash. And the thing we are doing now here is the same. We are now discussing about stuff that doesn't matter. We should be spending time in creating solutions and marketing to make people believe and understand why cryptocurrency is important.
Yeah, but again, you said Bitcoin, cash has to be neutral. Cash has to be neutral.
So the only one who we still don't know who the owner is Bitcoin. This is the only one. And if you want to tell me that Bitcoin Cash it's not Roger Ver doesn't own it, but Roger Ver is the main person behind it or in front of it, promoting it, and you have Bitcoin SV where Greg is being this person. That's all not as decentralized as Bitcoin is. And then I'm not talking about about the mining, but I'm talking about technology, and I'm talking about nobody is talking about patents and all the things and all that stuff. It just needs to be a peer-to-peer cash.
Yeah, but we need to talk about SegWit. SegWit means that the system is completely corruptible and controlled by a centralized source.
I've never used SegWit. I've paid with Bitcoin the last 4 years all over the world. I don't own bank accounts. I've been able to pay with Bitcoin from the Netherlands to Thailand to everywhere in the world, and without SegWit. I have never used SegWit. I use my normal Bitcoin wallet, and all the transactions have been going through, and that's enough for me. I need to be able to have the control and the power on my cash. And as a family, and you can check our YouTube channel, we have been proving that we've been paying with Bitcoin all over the world. There is no tremendous times of waiting and blocks and all that stuff. No, because there are other third parties that facilitate the payments. If I book my hotel or my flights on exceltrip.com at the moment, the booking is confirmed directly without even Bitcoin being in. Do you know why? Because they know the payment will come in because it's blockchain. It hasn't been hacked for 10 years. Yes, it needs confirmations, but it will be arriving. And this is what I want, just to be able to pay, just to be able to send my Bitcoins to my nephew on the Moluccan Islands because he has a telephone without any bank holding him. My nephew on the Moluccan Islands is the son of a fisherman. He don't even have a bank. He don't even allow it to have a bank account. I just want to be able to send him some money every month.
All right.
And
Well,
it is happening now. And I'm doing it with Bitcoin. I'm doing it with Litecoin. I'm doing it with Verge. I'm doing it with Bitcoin. I've been doing it with all currencies. It doesn't matter for me.
when
I just want nobody to have control.
Well, when you said you haven't been using SegWit, you can't not use it because it's SegWit is ingrained into the protocol now. Do you mean you haven't paid with Lightning Network?
No. The last. Sorry, yes, I was talking about the Lightning Network. Sorry, yes.
All right, yeah. Well, yeah. SegWit is now they've changed the protocol. Like the SegWit is a Lightning Network is a second layer, what they call solution. So that's controlled by Lightning Labs. SegWit is actually the change of the protocol in Bitcoin that separates the signatures, which means that basically a centralized source has control of that system. I mean, you can still pay with it, but they control it and they can shut it down if they want to.
You're totally right. I was talking about the Lightning Network, and sorry, man. Yeah, that's what I told you. My technical knowledge is not that good. Maybe I'm like on 10% working capacity now because I'm just too much enjoying the beach and the sea. I don't know, man. So for me, again, I don't want to have any wars between Cash or SV or Bitcoin. I just want us all to collectively disrupt this monetary system.
Well, that's what we all want, though. I mean, this is one of the reasons why there's a fight on together. Because what was the original Bitcoin, which was a chain of signatures which all validated the transactions, which meant that no single party has control over the system, has now been changed, and there is now a central party in control of BTC because they implemented SegWit, which means they can get away with doing shit without anybody knowing.
What do you want me to say?
Well, I want you to say, "Oh my God, I didn't know that."
No, I already proved that by the discussion because I was talking about Lightning Network. So I don't need to say that. Well, for me, it is not important. Again, I want. You just don't seem to get my point, and I think it's a useless discussion if we just discuss these kinds of things because I'm able to pay, and that's what I want, and then I'm able to hodl my bitcoins without anybody touching them, and this is the importance of me and for me of the whole Bitcoin story, and this is the whole goal. It needs to be peer-to-peer cash, that's unconfiscatable, and SegWit, no SegWit, Lightning Network, no Lightning Network, all those technical things, it doesn't mean a fuck to me because I just want to be able to not use banks, and that's what I've been doing for 4 years, and successful been doing for 4 years.
So, but what if the banks were to pay a group of developers to implement a system which broke the chain of signatures in SegWit, which meant that the world will never adopt it because multinational corporations can never use it. They can't use a centralized system. So therefore it will never be adopted as money, and therefore they're building a second layer solution to prevent people from using the chain, which means that miners won't be able to support themselves, which means eventually the chain will become redundant and collapse and the project will fail.
You can go on like this, but you know what it is? If that happens, I will step to the next solution. If that won't fail, I will step to the next solution. I will step to any solution that is not controlled. I will step to any solution that is not run by banks. I will step to any solution where I don't need to use banks. That's what I've been saying from the beginning of this interview. I don't give a fuck which currency it is. You are approaching me as if I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, while I'm a peer-to-peer cash maximalist that wants to disrupt the monetary system. And again, that is what we should be discussing about. And you can keep coming with points that you think that will prove that Bitcoin SV is the best one. Then you can better interview a guy that wants to be a Bitcoin SV maximalist. Because I will never be a Bitcoin SV maximalist. I will never be a Bitcoin Cash maximalist. Never a Bitcoin maximalist. I will be a peer-to-peer, what I can use at the moment maximalist. And that's what I need to be. Because that's the only way we can book progress in coming to one kind of a currency that really, can set all the world free of the suppression of the control of the systems that are centralized as hell. Well, yeah, that is what I want.
Well, that's what we want. That's what we want really badly. But we've only got this one opportunity to achieve that. because the issue with money, in order for it to be neutral, like it cannot have a centralized starting point. So anyone that creates a system like Charlie Lee or Charles Hoskinson or I can't remember his name, Evan Duffield, from Dash, or Roger Ver from Bitcoin Cash, whatever. If a currency has a central point of authority, it basically means they have control of the system, and it means that it has no credibility whatsoever, because if someone created it, it means that both China and America can also create it themselves. So what Satoshi Nakamoto did was he decentralized the starting point by writing the paper in the English language and releasing it to the Western world, but he gave himself a Japanese pseudonym. And that meant that the network was able to grow for a period of 10 years without any point of authority or control. And that's what neither China or America can replicate. But because people are now familiar with cryptocurrencies, it means that situation can never happen again. So we've only got this one shot to make this work, to make sure that the world has a neutral currency. And at the moment, what they've done is the banks have paid a group of developers to make sure that BTC can't achieve that, because they want it to fail. And we're just like, oh my God, we need to tell people about this. We're on a march to get peer-to-peer electronic cash for the world. And people have been deceived by what's going on. That's why we're in a panic.
Then exactly what I said a few times now during the interview. I don't give a fuck which currency is going to succeed. One will succeed. I just sit back, I just live my life. I just use peer-to-peer cash as the way I can use it now, and the best version may win. But I think there would be a best version sooner if all those people that think they are the smartest one would work together. I don't know how hard this is going to stand for you guys, but I just want them to work together and not work against each other, because that will slow down the whole process. And then indeed, the governments will come with another solution that the people will follow, as they have been following everything. They will follow all the obligatory vaccinations in the next couple of months. They will do everything when they are fear. So just by making all this shit and all the discussions, all the hard forks and all the stuff, we have already slowed down the progress of the peer-to-peer cash. And this is what we should have done. They should have talked with each other in a decent way and created one beautiful currency that would do all the things that in the Satoshi white paper a currency needed to do following the Satoshi white paper. And instead of that, they started throwing mud at each other and started doing all these kinds of shows and keynote speakers, and I don't know what they are. And he started throwing mud there and mud this and that and this. Why? Was that the goal?
Well, because you've got these, but you've got these snake oil salesmen who are telling you that they've got a really good idea that is actually not which is actually not a good idea, and it's completely messed up the system, because money has to be neutral. You can't have a central point of authority in control of a money. It has no fundamental value whatsoever.
Okay, so I don't know you personally. Do you have a bank account?
Yeah.
Are you all in?
Yeah, totally, 100%.
You don't own bank accounts anymore.
Oh well, I mean, I need a bank account in order to buy Bitcoin.
No, that's already what I'm talking about. So many people are talking the talk but not walking the walk. Who of your friends own bank accounts? All of them.
Yeah.
That's centralized. So why don't the fuck they go out of this centralized system into whatever currency in crypto it is? Because that's what they need to do according to you, isn't it?
But they have jobs. The crypto hasn't been adopted yet.
No, and it will never be adopted if everybody keeps talking the talk and not walking the walk. But I don't know how I can get through to people if they just, people won't never change. That's why I told you already 6 times in this interview. We have only 5% of people that really want to be all in and show and lead by example, and the rest is just sheep. And they will lead the other. They will lead the other example. They will just follow the other example. I mean, they will follow all the people that believe in the centralized currency. And now you and me, or you try to discuss with me about the centralized difference between centralized or decentralized cryptocurrencies, while you and all your friends still own bank accounts, which is the most central form of money. And that's for me just unbelievable that all those people last years tried to discuss with me about this while they own like more than 80% of their capital is in the most centralized system in the world.
But
Do you know how strange this is for me to understand that even people that are pretend to be crypto people and gurus and shows and everything still have bank accounts? Choose a job where you earn Bitcoin. You can see what happened now. They just kill your economy. You get unemployed. You don't have any money now. You have a bank account. You don't get salaries anymore. They can do whatever they want when you're working the work in a traditional monetary system. So I don't want to discuss who's big, who's better, which crypto is better. I just want to discuss leave fiat, get into crypto. And if you can't understand my vision, then you can't understand Satoshi's vision.
Oh, I totally get it, but it's just in order to get into cryptocurrency, it has to be currency, and currency has to be neutral. So therefore, it can't be anonymous, and it can't have a centralized source controlling it.
So then never use pounds or dollars or euros.
Well, people when
you're doing it there. Everybody is doing it there. Nobody gives a fuck that one is centralized control, that they print $6 trillion in 2 days' time. You're using the most centralized currency, and now you try to discuss to use decentralized cryptocurrency. Please, any cryptocurrency is more decentralized than physical cash than the fiat currency. It doesn't matter which cryptocurrency you use. They are all more decentralized than the fiat currency. So everybody wants to discuss this with me, but they still have like 90% of their value in the most centralized system in the world, where they can push a button like they did in Greece and in Cyprus, and they just say, you cannot touch your money. You can only get 160 euro per week, where they just push a button and freeze your whole account. And everybody is believing in this centralized version, fiat, and tries to discuss with me the differences between Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. If you're not fully all into cryptocurrency, you're supporting the most centralized version of currency around. I hope I can. I hope I'm a little bit clear now.
Yeah. But it's just, the system of Bitcoin is still being built right now. It's kind of like
you use Bitcoin Cash. Then you use Bitcoin SV. Go all in Bitcoin SV. You trust it. You know it. You know Greg. You trust Greg fully. You think he's the smartest guy. He just has a small problem of his. I don't even know how you call it, the sickness.
Asperger's.
But you know this will be the new currency. Asperger's, sorry. So you know this is the new currency. Go in, all in.
Well, I'm like 99% in, but I still need to go down to my local supermarket and buy sandwiches for lunch.
No, you can also be 100% in and just exchange Bitcoins and change all over the world already with Bitcoin. But I'm not attacking you because I admire you that you're also 99% in. I'd love to hear this. What I'm trying to tell you is you're discussing this with the wrong person. You should be discussing this with somebody who's supporting the most centralized system in the world. For me, any cryptocurrency is more decentralized than the fiat system. So, yes, a lot of people attack me on, or try to trigger me on, why do you believe in Bitcoin? Or why do you believe in Litecoin? Or why do you believe in Bitcoin Cash? I believe in peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, digital cash. I believe in any cryptocurrency that gives me the opportunity to transact value without anybody stopping it. I don't want to know the details of everything. SegWit or Lightning Network, or I don't even know the details of Bitcoin Cash or Verge or whatever. I don't want to know them. I want to use it, and as soon as I am able to just use it without needing to think about all the technical things, then other people in the world will be able to understand as well, because they are like blank in knowledge on cryptocurrency. They don't want to know details. They just want to use it. Just the way they use physical cash now. They take €5 out of their pocket and pay the €5 in the grocery store or give it to a friend. This is how they want to be able to use cryptocurrency as well. I can see it here in Thailand, man. Here in the island, it's a small island. I can already pay my hotels with Bitcoin, restaurants with Bitcoins. I can pay in bars with Bitcoins. The Thai people, they all have apps like WeChat and all that stuff. They pay just like using apps all over the world here. We see these countries as third world countries, while they are ahead of us, way ahead of us when it comes to peer-to-peer payments. So again, for me, it's all about that we have peer-to-peer cash that nobody can confiscate from me. And which currency it is, I really don't care. I went into Bitcoin. I went into this industry because of Bitcoin. That's why we are called the Bitcoin family. And afterwards, all the hard forks came, and I used a lot of other currencies on a daily basis as well. And that's the goal. There is nothing else for me. That's the goal. I don't want to have people fighting over the same goal. Why would they? Because you're just slowing down. You're just slowing down the evolution of money, which cryptocurrency should be. It should be the evolution of money. If we fight inside of the industry, we are just slowing down this evolution of money. And people that are not like me, crazy as hell, and go all in, or like you, crazy as hell, that are all in, yeah, they will be hanging around this classical fiat system for way more many years, because they don't trust this new one, because the new one is fighting. Oh, let's check out. Oh, let's see what this Bitcoin is. And then they just see YouTube videos of childish people throwing mud at each other, shouting at each other, claiming to be people they are not. Let's leave that one there, and we will just keep to fiat. We will wait till the digital euro or dollar comes. This is, for me, it's ridiculous that they have been fighting and not working towards solutions and creating a peer-to-peer cash as it was supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's because, the people who control the current fiat system have an unlimited money supply, so therefore they can print whatever they want. So if they see a cryptocurrency coming along that's going to take their power away, from their printing of the money, what they're going to do is they're going to try and prevent that from happening. So then what they're going to try and do is they're going to print as much money as they can get away with, which they can sweep under the rug, pay a group of developers, very clever developers, to change the narrative of Bitcoin, tell people not to use it, tell them it's a store of value, develop a second layer solution so the blockchain is redundant, and hopefully that the project will fail and they'll continue to retain their power of the fiat system. This is the whole point of a cryptocurrency, is to prevent fiat money from existing. But what they've done is, because they've got an unlimited money supply, they've paid a group of developers to get into BTC, change the protocol so that it can't be used as money, and people believe it.
And then those people who do believe it or don't believe it, they still have the option to choose for Bitcoin Cash, choose for Litecoin, they choose for Verge, they choose for whatever any other currency. We build further on the next one. And if that one stops, we build further on the next one. We have the unlimited control of making new versions of Bitcoin so that they are never able to stop it. This is the power of crypto. This is the power of hard forking, soft forking. So educate the people the importance of crypto. Don't educate the people of why cryptos are fighting with each other. This is useless. It's useless. This is useless. It's we need to educate them how that they can use crypto, and how that they can start to use crypto, and how that they can already pay on many places in the world, and why it's safe to use crypto. And so I just don't understand why everybody always wants to discuss this. Which is the better version, which is the technical better version, which has the decentralized control. Again, I keep repeating, the most centralized control is in the fiat system. And everybody who's watching this and everybody who's in this has probably more than 80% in the fiat system. That's the most centralized system around. As long as you keep supporting the most centralized system around, you're not able to support any other decentralized system because we can't print money. You can't, I can't, my friends can't. We just have, let's say 100 euros is 100%, and if 80 euros is in euro and 20 euros in Bitcoin, we can't make more in Bitcoin. We can't. So it's useless to discuss which one is better, which one is worse. The discussion should be how do we use it. It's not a discussion about creating the what I said. For you, you like a little bit more Bitcoin SV. Yeah, then I don't think this guy needs to talk about patents, but I think he needs to make sure that this stuff it gets accepted. I've been traveling for 4 years all over the world, and I can pay everywhere with Dash. I can pay everywhere with Litecoin. I can pay everywhere with Bitcoin and with Bitcoin Cash. Sadly for you, I just need to tell you what I see. There is no place I can pay with Bitcoin SV. No, zero. So then the focus, in my opinion, of the project is not right. Then the focus is too much on accumulating control instead of accumulating mass adoption. And so maybe in 5 years' time, maybe, man, Bitcoin SV will be the biggest one. I don't know, but what they are doing now, that's terrible. The technical may be right, but the technically it's probably right, but come on, the marketing is like, it's terrible. It's like McDonald's wanting to try hamburgers, but making pictures of shit. Nobody will eat shit. No, nobody will eat shit. So just agree with me that should be real better. Because tell me, have you seen places that accept Bitcoin SV? I wish I was using my phone now because if I would have walked you 200 meters to the first restaurant here around the corner where I pay with Bitcoin, and I can pay with Dash, and I can pay with Litecoin, and I can pay with Verge, but they don't accept Bitcoin SV. There is a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but as long I cannot use it, for me it's unusable currency. It's unusable peer-to-peer cash for me.
Got ya.